Hello, welcome back to Fully Painted Miniatures. This is Drogs. I'm going to try something a little bit different. So, still doing a solo Let's Play of Aeons End, 2nd edition. Hey Raina, how you doing? But I thought I'd flip the camera around. I only have a phone with a little stand for recording. I don't have any actual recording equipment. So, I have been shooting it kind of from this position face down so you could see all the cards. But I'm reading out all the cards anyway. And I thought maybe people would like it better to see my face and see me playing. This also allows me to sit down. I've had to play standing up the whole time so far. So I thought I'd give this a try and just see how it goes. Okay, so we're going up against the Prince of Gluttony right here. This is going to be my third attempt at defeating the Prince. I've defeated the other 3 bosses in the Aeons End 2nd edition core set, or starter set. And for this game, I changed one of my mages from the last game. I swapped out Mist for Lash. Right there. Lash is the Breach Mage Scout. Starts with a Quartz Shard, 3 crystals, 1 spark. Starting with 3 crystals and 2 sparks. Raina, be quiet. Quartz Shard. Gains 1 power after the crystal. And then its special ability, reveal the top card of the turn order deck. You may place that card on the bottom or the top of the turn order deck. If you reveal the player turn order card, gain an additional power. So 66% chance of gaining 2 power. 33% chance of getting the Nemesis card and then being able to put that on the bottom. Alright, and then I also have Kadir, who I used in the last game as well. Oh, I forgot to tell you the special abilities. No, it's okay. No. You be quiet. She's very needy, unfortunately. Boys are so much easier. So, Lash's special ability allows you to shuffle any player's turn order card into the turn order deck. That player will then suffer 1 damage. And then his breaches... That's a guy, right? Yeah. Kind of looks like a girl. I can't really tell. I'm going to go with guy. So his breaches, first one's open. Second one has a 3 cost. Third has a 9. And the fourth has a 7 to open. And then we have Kadir. Her breaches are going to be first open, second at 3, third at 7, fourth at 10. She's going to start with an Emerald Shard, 3 crystals and a spark. Emerald Shard gains 1 power, or you can discard it to gain 1 life. So that'll let me cancel out the negative from Lash's ability. And then her deck is going to be 3 crystals and 2 sparks. And her special is Otherworldly Gate. That player may return up to 3 spells from their discard pile to their hand, and then may prep up to 2 spells to each open breach that turn. So I like that. It just gives me extra firepower, and that just gives me a little bit more. That can give me an extra turn per round, so that one of the mages will get a 3rd activation, essentially. All right. So I always play with randomizers, which cause me to lose more often than I should probably, but I think it's a little bit more fun, a little bit more interesting for you guys watching at home. So I'm going to keep it going. We'll see. If I lose, 5 times in a row, then I'll probably pick my own cards for the 6th one, just to see how that goes. I think that's fair. If I 5 attempts with randomizers, and if that doesn't get the job done, then a 6th one, picking what I want. All right, so first we're going to do gems, and we get Sifter's Pearl. Had that last game. I'll go through all the cards in a second. Diamond Cluster. And Clouded Sapphire. I get Clouded Sapphire a lot. So that's a 3, 4, and 6, so that's nice. Then we got our Relics. Alright. Bottled Vortex. And Focusing Orb. And then our spells. So the way the Prince of Gluttony works is he devours your store cards. And as he eats your cards, if you don't, he eats 3 at a time. And if you don't have 3, if you have 1 or 2 in that pile, he'll do damage to Gravehold. And then if he eats all of your store cards, you lose the game. So both of the previous games, I lost because Gravehold took too much damage. Both my players have been okay life-wise. Both games, nobody's been exhausted. I've also basically ran out of cards. So you really want to focus on just buying the cards that get devoured. So I think that's really the trick to beating them, is getting the cards you want to buy to actually be the ones that you devour, and then buy them in that order. But because he eats 3 at a time, it can be a little tricky. All right. Spell cards. First, we're getting Dark Fire. Had that for all 3 of those games. Feral Lightning, one of my favorites. Amplify Vision. And Ignite. So definitely some lower cost cards for this game. So that's not bad. Not a bad thing. We'll see how that goes. Randomizers go here. A little dividers fell down. All right. So I need diamond clusters. I think this is going to be at the bottom, actually. Yeah. Sister's Pearl. Cloud Sapphire. Ball of Vortex. Focusing Orb. There's a lot of good cards. Okay, there's Amplify Vision. Dark Fire. Feral Lightning and Ignite. Okay. So I'm just going to put these back real quick so they're out of the way. And gather up our randomizers. Okay. So Sifter's Pearl. Gain 2 power, 3 cost, gain 2 power. Each player reveals the top card of their deck and either discards it or returns it to the top of their deck. To those who have stepped through the breach, the pearl shows the splinters of time itself. Diamond Cluster. 4 cost, gain 2 power. If this is the second time you have played Diamond Cluster this turn, gain an additional 2 power. So it's actually probably the best gem you can get for the cost if you get 2 of them in your hand at a time, because you get a 2 power and then a 4. These gems were once the most precious, the most scarce. Now they line the walls of caves like shimmering fangs. All right, and then my personal favorite, the most expensive gem, Clouded Sapphire. 6 cost, gain 3 power. If this is the first time you've played Clouded Sapphire this turn, an ally gains 1 charge. They say if you look closely, the shadow of the world that was is imprisoned within. I love anything that gives me free charges, just in general. Then Bottled Vortex. 3 cost. Destroy this card. Destroy up to 2 cards in your hand or discard pile. Draw a card. There are worlds within worlds, infinite realms cascading from the yawning nothing. So this is a very underrated card. Allows you to destroy. So there's what, 5 of those? So that destroys 10 of your starter cards effectively. If you gave them all to one, you wouldn't want to give them all to one because you probably want to keep the unique starting card, but very, very useful at creating efficiency in your hands. And then Focusing Orb, 4 cost. Focus any player's breach or destroy this. Grateful gains 3 life. That's going to be super useful for this game. GN picked up the orb as if knowing its purpose. That was the last day she ever spoke. And then I have 2 4-cost spells. Interesting. First is going to be Ignite. 4 cost. Cast, deal 2 damage. Any ally gains 1 charge. We are but 1 flickering flame against unimaginable dark. So this with the Clouded Sapphire. Okay. Lots of free charges. Next, I have Amplified Vision. Cast, focus your closed breach with the lowest focus cost. Deal 2 damage. If all of your breaches are open, deal an additional 1 damage. The breaches are merely a mirror through which worlds whisper. So I have 2 different ways to open breaches and 2 different ways to gain charges. Then Feral Lightning, 5 cost. This spell may be prepared to close breach without focusing it, and it deals 3 damage. All things can be tamed. So I love this card. It lets you do 3 damage and not focus your breaches. The only negative with that is if you open, you almost always end up doing it on the 3rd and 4th one. And those give bonus damage if you do open them. So, but I still love it. And then Dark Fire, 5 cost. Discard up to 2 cards in your hand, deal 3 damage for each card discarded this way. Zaxos always says, to come back to light, we must first visit the shadow. So this is my highest damage card, potential damage. It will do 7 damage on a 3rd or 4th breach. Whereas this one will do 3, this one will do 3, or 4, if they're all open. And this one will do 4. So 3, 4, 4, 7. But this one requires discarding cards. Okay. I don't think I forgot anything. Everything is shuffled. So we're going to... Oh, yep. And he starts with the Devour pile of your 3 gems in order of expensive to cheap. So let's see who goes first. First is Nemesis. And it is going to be Lobotomize. It's an attack. Any player suffers 3 damage or devour 3 spells. I'm just going to take 3 damage on Kadir. Bringing her to 7. I saw the woman's empty eyes and everything she was fell away into nothing. And then we're getting Lash's first turn. He's got nothing prepped, so we're going to prep Spark. He is going to generate 3 power with his 3 crystals and a 4th with the quartz shard. And that special ability is reveal the top card of the turn order deck. There's a 2. You may place that card in the bottom or the top of the turn order deck. If it reveals a turn order card, gaining additional power. So that gives me 2 power for a total of 5. So for 5 power, I'm gonna buy Darkfire, actually. Yeah. Yeah. And then Lash's next hand is going to be 3 crystals and 2 sparks. Next goes Kadir. She's going to prep a spark. And she's going to use the Emerald Shard, discard that to gain 1 life. Bringing her back up to 8. And then she has 3 power from her 3 crystals. And she's going to buy Sifter's Pearl from the Devour pile. And her next hand will be 3 crystals and 2 sparks. Then Kadir goes again. She's going to cast a spark for 1 damage, bringing Prince of Gluttony to 69. She's then going to use 3 power to open her second breach, where she's going to prep both sparks. Her next hand is going to be 3 crystals, Sifter's Pearl, and an Emerald Shard. And Lash goes next. He's going to cast Spark, bringing Prince of Gluttony down to 68. He is going to do the same thing. He's going to use 3 power to open second breach, and then prep 2 sparks. And the Nemesis is going to go last. And his card, Skewer. Unleash. Any player suffers 3 damage and draws a card. So Unleash causes him to eat 3 cards from the least expensive supply pile. So that's my choice between the Bottle Vortex and the Sifter's Pearl. I'm going to choose Sifter's Pearl because I want to buy those. I want to buy Bottle Vortexes too, but not yet. I want to get some economy going. And then Lash is going to take the 3 damage. Bring him down to 7. And he gets to draw a card. So I haven't actually drawn his card. So I'm just going to draw 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be Darkfire, Quartz Shard, 3 crystals, and a spark. So pretty cool. All right. So that was the end of the first round. I feel pretty good about it. Yeah, that's definitely... They both took damage, but otherwise, I would say that's probably the best first round I've had against Prince of Gluttony. All right. Kadir goes first. She's going to cast both sparks for 2 damage, bringing Prince of Gluttony down to 66. She's going... Well, how much is this? It's worth 5. So I can do 6 with the Emerald Shard or 5 and gain a life. I'll do 6 and buy 2 Sifter's Pearls. And because she's using Sifter's Pearls, each player can reveal the top card and choose to discard it or not. Yeah, I guess I'll discard a spark. Sure. I don't think it matters that much this early on. Pretty much all starter cards. All right. Oh, sorry. And her next cards, I have 3 crystals and 2 sparks. But Lash is going first. He's going to cast both of his sparks, dealing 2 damage, bringing Prince of Gluttony down to 64. He's then going to prep Darkfire and Spark. And then he has 3 crystals and a Quartz Shard. Quartz Shard reveals top turn on deck. It's going to be a 2, so that goes back. So this is a total of 5 power. So for 5 power, you get another Darkfire? Yeah. So I'll give Lash Darkfires and I'll give Kadir Bottled Vortexes. That's going to be my strategy. So for his next turn, 1, 2, 3. 3 crystals and 2 sparks. And the next turn is going to be Kadir. She's got nothing prepped, but I'm going to prep 2 sparks. And then she has 3 crystals, which I will buy Sifter's Pearl from the Devour pile. her next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 Sifter's Pearls, Emerald Shard, and a Crystal. Huh. Very cool. That's a powerful hand. So soon. Okay, Nemesis goes next. Haze Spewer. Minion, 5 life. Persistent. Gravehold suffers damage equal to this minion's current life. Then this minion suffers 1 damage. Oh, this is a basic card. The fumes they belch are so caustic they rarely live long themselves. And Nemesis goes again. So the first thing that happens is Gravehold's going to take 5 damage from the Haze Spear. That's unfortunate. You can get screwed by Nemesis going twice in a row. Just because of that reason. Call a minion and activate. Okay. Another minion. Thought Biter. 6 life. Persistent. Any player suffers 2 damage or devours 2 relics from the least expensive relic supply pile. Is it eating the cave wall? So good news is I'm going to be able to use Darkfire to take him out. And then that's going to almost take out the Haze Spear. So it's not the end of the world. Going with 1. Lash. So first thing I'm going to do, which cards do I want to discard? Well, first the Spark will do 1 damage to the Haze Spear. And then I need to decide if I want to get rid of my Sparks or my Crystals. Because I can't afford... How many are in here? 3. Yeah, I'm going to discard both Sparks and kill the Thought Biter. And then I'm going to use my 3 power and buy a Bottled Vortex. No. I'm sorry, I'm taking that back. I'm going to discard a Spark and a Crystal to do 6 damage to the Thought Biter. I'm going to prep a Spark, and then I'm going to use 2 power to purchase a charge. If I had moved on, I wouldn't have gone back, but I was still in the middle of that turn. Next turn, Quartz Shard, Darkfire, and 3 Crystals. So this way I have enough Sparks to destroy that Haze Spear. If they both get an activation before the Haze Spear, I'll be able to take it out. So I feel a lot better about that. Alright, Nemesis. I do not. So Gravehold is going to take another 3 damage, bringing Gravehold down to 22. Then this minion suffers 1 damage. And then draws a card. Gorge. Devour 2 cards from the second most expensive gem supply pile. Any player suffers 2 damage. So much of her history was lost in the first purge. Aeons of knowledge, art, and culture erased. It has been so very long that we know not even the true name of the world that was. Alright, so that's going to... Second most expensive is a 5 cost, so I can choose either Feral Lightning or Darkfire. I'll give it Feral Lightning. And then Kadir will take the 2 damage. Now it's Kadir's turn. She's going to cast both Sparks That will kill the Haze Spear. She will prep a spark. And she has 7 power or 6 and gain a life. Now 7 doesn't really do too well. Yeah. So yeah, I think I actually will take the 7 and buy a bottle vortex and a diamond cluster. So I'm not going to gain the life, but I can choose the top card of their deck and discard it if I choose to 3 times, which is kind of interesting. So, Crystal, Spark, Crystal, Spark. Yeah. Just cycle through those starter cards. All right. And then her next turn, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sifter's Pearl, 3 crystals, and a spark. And Lash goes next. He's going to cast his spark to do 1 damage to the Prince of Gluttony, bringing him to 63. He's going to prep Darkfire. And then he has 3 crystals and a Quartz Shard. Quartz Shard reveals turn. So that's the Nemesis deck card. I'm going to put it on the bottom. So that gives me 1 power, so he has a total of 4. 4 does not allow him to do... Amplify Vision. I'm going to open some of those breaches. In his next hand, he's going to have 2 crystals, Dark Fire, and 2 sparks. And he goes again. So first thing he's going to do is cast that Dark Fire. And... yeah, get rid of both sparks. Bringing him, doing 6 damage. Bringing Prince of Gluttony down to 57. So I'm doing much better in the damage department. I'm going to prep a Dark Fire again, and then use 2 crystals to buy a charge. So lessons I learned in the last game besides, I want to be a little bit more aggressive about getting crystals early, and then getting spells a little bit more aggressively too. I'm probably going to skip Focusing Orb, Feral Lightning pretty much completely. Might grab a couple bottle vortexes. They're cheap. I want to buy my spells as much as possible from the Devour table. And I want to be more aggressive in getting charges. Because I can use that to do damage. Lash grants me an extra turn. Kadir grants me 3 extra spells. To really hammer him down without having to rely on purchasing so much. Because you want to purchase honestly as little as possible in the store. Alright. Next hand is going to have Spark, Amplify Vision, Quartz Shard, and 2 crystals. And Kadir goes next. She's going to cast Spark for 1 damage, bringing Prince down to 56. She's then going to prep a Spark and generate 5 power. And each player may reveal the top card of their deck and then discard if they choose to, which they both will. And that 5 power, she is going to buy that Feral Lightning. Two, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. 3 crystals, a bottle vortex, and a diamond cluster. And Nemesis' turn. Nothing on the board. Woven Sky. 2 discard. Discard 3 cards in hand. Power 2 unleash. Unleash and any player suffers 4 damage. So I will just discard these 3 crystals immediately to get rid of that. All right. Lash goes first. I'm going to generate power with the Court Shard. That's going to generate 2 power, since that is a player card. Oh, I don't get to do that first. It's alright, I already did it. So I'm going to cast Dark Fire, discarding 2 crystals, doing 6 damage, bringing Prince of Gluttony down to 50. So I'm feeling really good about that so far. Court Shard generates 2 power. I'm going to prep Amplify Vision and Spark. And I'm going to use that 2 power for a charge. Then Lash's next turn. 2 sparks, Dark Fire, and 2 crystals. So he's definitely, that Dark Fire's being awesome. Alright, Kadir next. Spark for 1 damage. Bring Prince of Gluttony to 49. Now she only has 2 cards because of the discard effect. So I'm going to destroy Bottle of Vortex. Destroy up to 2 cards in your hand or discard pile. I will destroy 2 crystals. And that allows her to draw a card as well. Emerald Shard. So I have the option for 3 power or 2 power and 1 life. I will take the 3 and buy another Bottle of Vortex. Our next cards, 3 Sifter's Pearls and 2 Sparks. Now Lash's turn. So he's going to cast Spark for 1 damage. And Amplify Vision, which will do 2 damage. And then focus my 3rd breach. Yeah, so that's 3 damage. Bringing Gluttony down to 46. I then prep Dark Fire, and I can prep both Sparks. And then use my 2 crystals for a charge. I'm feeling really good about how this is going. This is so much easier than last time. I think I got really good cards too. 4 crystals and a Dark Fire. Man, I've been avoiding Dark Fire, but that's such a powerful card. You just gotta use it early. Alright, Nemesis turn. Nothing on the board. Creature. Mind Guzzler. Immediately sent this minion's life to 8 plus the number of empty supply piles. All my supply piles are still there. So 8 life it is. And he unleashes on his turn. We get Kadir next. She has nothing prepped. So I'll prep 2 Sparks. And then 3 Sifter's Pearls gives me 6 power. Plus I can reveal the top card 3 times. And discard. 6 power. I'll buy a Clouded Sapphire. They're both going to keep those. Her next hand is 3 crystals, a Sifter's Pearl, and a Feral Lightning. This should be Nemesis. So first thing that's going to happen is an Unleash. So Prince of Gluttons is going to devour 3 cards from the least expensive supply pile. Both of these have 3 in there. I'm kind of trying to manage that so I'm not taking extra damage for no reason. So I can give him the Pearls or the Bottled Vortexes. I'll give him the Bottled Vortexes. Which I still want. I'm planning on buying those back. Hopefully before they get buried. Alright. Nemesis unleashes again. Through the Mind Guzzler. And he's going to eat the 3 Sifter's Pearls. And draw a card. Unleash twice, and Grateful it suffers 3 damage. This is a level 2, tier 2 power. Or place the most recently discarded minion in the Nemesis discard pile back in play. I don't really want an Unleash twice. So I'm not doing quite a bit of damage. So the most, Haze Spewer, whatever. He's not that bad. I think that's the lesser of 2 evils right there. And I got some damage spells prepped, so we'll be alright. First is going to be Lash. Okay, sweet. So Lash is going to cast Darkfire. Discarding 2 crystals. And that's going to do 6 damage. And then cast the 2 sparks. Bring it up to 8. And he's just going to destroy the Mind Guzzler right off the bat. Then he's going to prep Darkfire. And he's going to use 2 crystals for a charge. And then activate his special ability. Allowing him to shuffle his turn order card back into the deck. So that effectively was a free turn. He then suffers 1 damage. And he loses all of his charges. So, already have the Nemesis out. One of them. But I still have 4 activations this round. So pretty good. Both my players got 6 life. Gravehold's at 22. Prince of Gluttony is at 46. Not bad. Oh. And then Lash's next turn, he's going to have Spark, Amplify Vision, 2 crystals, and Quartz Shard. But Kadir goes first. She's got 2 sparks. I'm going to cast both of those on the Haze Spear. Bring him down to 3. She's then going to prep a Feral Lightning. And she can generate 5 power while revealing top card. She will get rid of her crystals. He will keep Dark Fire. So 5 power. With 5 power... Interesting. I guess I'll Guess I'll take the Sifter's Pearl. A charge. She really needs some spells. I need to focus on spells for now. And her next hand is going to be Spark, Ball of Vortex, Diamond Cluster, Emerald Shard, Clouded Sapphire. Alright. Lash gets to go next. He's just going to discard 1 Spark. Do 3 damage with the Dark Fire, killing the Haste Spear. So very nice. Was able to cancel out both those minions without too much damage. So then I'm going to use Court Shard, reveal the turn order card. Nemesis. So I'm going to put that on the bottom. Oh, he's going to prep Amplify Vision, and he generates 3 power, which he's going to use to buy the Sifter's Pearl. So his next turn, 2 crystals, 2 sparks, and a dark fire. And he goes again. Gets to use Amplify Vision, deals 2 damage to Prince of Gluttony, bringing him to 44. Also focuses his 3rd breach. He will then prep Dark Fire and 2 sparks. And then use 2 crystals for a charge. I really like how this has been going. I feel in control. Prince of Gluttony hasn't really been able to do too much. I think it really helps to... You can buy cards from the store, but leave 3 in any pile that you might devour. And that prevents all that damage to Gravehold. You're really in trouble if you leave it with 2 or 1. His next hand, he's going to have a Dark Fire, Spark, Sifter's Pearl, and 2 crystals. And Kadir's going to go next. So first she's going to cast Feral Lightning, doing 3 damage, bringing the Prince of Gluttony down to 41. She's then going to prep Spark. She will also use Bottle of Vortex, destroy this. She's going to destroy 2 crystals as well from her discard pile, which allows her to draw another card. Look at that. So I can generate 4, 7 power, 8. I can generate 8 power or 7 and 1 life. By 8, and I'm going to buy 2 ignites. On her next turn, she's got 2 Sifter's Pearl, 2 Sparks, and a Crystal. But it's going to be the Nemesis. Nothing on the board. Pulverizing Ray. Power 1. Gravehold suffers 18 damage. The players may collectively discard up to 6 gems. For each gem discarded this way, prevent up to 3 damage. It's not typically that bad. I have 6 gems on the board right now. It kind of wastes a turn for each player. I mean, not completely. You still get to cast spells. All right. Lash first. He's going to discard 2 crystals with his Dark Fire for 6 damage, and then cast both Sparks for 7 and 8, dealing 8 damage to Prince of Gluttony, bringing him down to 33. Very nice. So I finally got him below half health. I will then prep Dark Fire and Spark and use Sifter's Pearl to gain a charge. That allows me to reveal top 2 cards. He will discard the crystal. She will not. Alright. 2, 3, 4, 5. And his next hand will be 2 crystals, Amplify Vision, 3 crystals, Amplify Vision, and Court Shard. And Nemesis goes next. So that is Pulverizing Ray. Definitely going to discard all the crystals. And then... yeah, I'll get rid of the 2 Court Shards as well. Sifter's Pearls, I mean. Sorry. So I discarded 6 gems, which completely negates the 18 damage. But he still draws a card. Minion, Needlemaw. 11 life. Gravefold suffers... persistent. Gravefold suffers 2 damage. The teeth of this beast make a fine trophy. The trick is keeping all your fingers in the taking of them. Alright. Lash is going to go first. I don't have cards to discard for Darkfire, so I'm going to hold on to that. But I will cast a Spark. Do 1 damage to the Needlemaw. I'll then prep Amplify Vision. And I will use Court Shard, generate 1 power, reveal. It's a Nemesis card. I'm going to put it on the bottom. That completes his turn. Two Sparks, 2 crystals, and a Darkfire. Next is going to go Kadir. She's going to cast Spark, do 1 damage to Needlemaw. Bring him down to 9. And then prep 2 Sparks. And that completes her turn. Next turn, Feral Lightning, Ignite, 2 Sifter's Pearls, and a Crystal. And she gets to go again. 2 Sparks, 2 damage. Bringing Needlemaw down to 7. She'll then prep, Ignite, Feral Lightning. And she can gain 5 power. Which we'll use to buy Feral Lightning. And I can discard up to 2 cards. Discard Crystal. And that's it. 2, 3, 4, 5. In her next hand, Emerald Shard, Clouded Sapphire, Diamond Cluster, Sifter's Pearl, and then Ignite. This is going to be the Nemesis. So Needlemaw does 2 damage to Gravehold, bringing me down to 20. It's not the worst ability in the world. It's a lot better than an Unleashing. And we get another creature. Seraphage. Persistent. Devour cards equal to this minion's life from 1 supply pile. Then this minion suffers 2 damage. This thing can really screw you up. So we will see. If the Nemesis gets 2 activations to start off the next round, I'll be in trouble. Not likely. You got what, 33% chance of the first card being a Nemesis? Less than that of it being 2 in a row. And then what, 20% chance of the second card? Yeah, 1 out of 5. So 1 out of 3 and then 1 out of 5. So I'd have to get a 33 and then a 20 for that to happen. especially after him ending the turn that way. So but you can end up in situations where Nemesis goes 3, even 4 times in a row. Not gonna happen though, thankfully. All right. So I can do 6 damage and then 2. I will cast Dark Fire with 2 crystals and do 6 damage to the Seraphage, bring him down to 1. And then I will use Amplify Vision to do 2 damage to the Nidamoo, bring him down to 5. That also focuses my 3rd breach. And I'll prep Dark Fire and 2 Sparks. Definitely feel like I'm at least with Lash, I feel like I'm in a good spot with my amount of spells that I have. All right, and good. Kadir goes next. She's going to use Ignite, deal 2 damage to the Seraphage, killing it. Nice. And that also grants a charge to Lash, giving him 3 charges. And then Feral Lightning to do 3 damage to the Nidamoo, bringing him down to 2. She will then prep and Ignite. And then this is worth 5-7 power. Or with a life point, 8 otherwise. I will take an Amplified Vision and a Sifter's Pearl. And gain a life point. This also gives a charge through Clouded Sapphire to Lash. And they both get to reveal 1 card. And decide if they want to discard it. Sifter's Pearl, she'll keep that. Court Shard, he'll keep that. Yeah. I like where this is going. So 2 Sifter's Pearl, Crystal, and 2 Sparks. I'm feeling, so normally about this time mid-game, I give like my odds of winning. The first game I put it at like 20%. The second game was around 50. I feel pretty good. I would say 70, maybe even 80% chance of me winning this game. Feel really good. All right. Nemesis is going to go next. Gravehold's going to suffer 2 damage. Bring him to 18. And then draw a card. It's another minion. God Feeders. Persist 8 life. Persistent. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Devour a gem from the most expensive supply pile. The prince exploits these creatures to both mend its wounds and sate its hunger. Sounds bad, but he has enough firepower he can kill that on its next activation. She has enough firepower to kill Nidamoo, so. Unfortunately, Nemesis is going twice in a row. So, still, it's not the end of the world. So that's going to be a total of 5 damage to Gravehold from both minions, bringing me down to 13. Not great, but it's okay. And then he devours Clouded Sapphire. And then draws a card. Okay. Unleash twice. The player with the most prep spells discards their most expensive prep spell. Okay, so that discards my Dark Fire. That's annoying. And then unleashes twice, which means he's going to eat 3 cards from any of these 4 supply piles. So I can choose if I want. I need 3 diamond clusters. I have 5. 3 focusing orbs. I have 5. 3 ignites. I'll just give him the 3 ignites. Yeah. Oh, that's the first one. He unleashes twice. could also give him 3 Amplify Visions. Three diamonds. But I don't want to buy those. No, I'll give him the 3 Amplify Visions. Because I actually do want to buy those still. Alright. Not... That could have been... It could have been better. Lash is going to go first. Cast both sparks and kill the need 'em all. We're going to prep a spark. And then it can generate 5 power. Yeah. I'll just buy a Dark Fire again. And he gets to reveal top card. She will discard the spark. Dark Fire, 3 crystals, and a quartz shard. Gidier's turn. Ignite. Deal 2 damage to the God Feeder, bringing it to 6. It also grants a charge. Quicken Thought. Yeah. I'll probably end up doing that. She's going to prep 2 sparks. And yeah, I will use Quicken Thought. You can activate it during either player's main phase. I'm going to activate it on Gideer this time. So she's going to take 1 damage. And then she basically gets a free activation. It allows you to take a player card and reshuffle it into the current deck. So since it's empty, these are free. And then she has 2 Sifter's Pearl and a Crystal. That is worth 5 power. And with that, I will buy a Feral Lightning. And that allows me to also reveal up to 2 cards to discard. And I am not going to either. And her next turn, she's going to have 2 Sifter's Pearls, a Crystal, an Ignite, and a Feral Lightning. Which is right now. She will cast 2 sparks to do 2 damage to the God Feeder, bringing him down to 4. She will then prep an Ignite and a Feral Lightning, and she has 5 power. Again. I'm just gonna get 2 charges. I wanna keep buying spells, but I think at this point I'm getting really close to tier 3 abilities starting to pop off. So I need to focus on damaging them. I was doing really good for a while, and then I kind of stalled for like 2 rounds. So her next turn, Feral Lightning, Amplify Vision, 2 Sifter's Pearls, and Diamond Cluster. I don't know what round this is, but it's definitely getting close to the tier 3 cards, which, you know, my store looks good. I definitely got room for and the Unleash and Devour and all that. It's 6 life, 5 life, 13 on Gravehold, which isn't great. If I really need to, I can buy a couple Focusing Orbs to try to heal it, but I'd like to avoid that if possible. All right. And Kadir goes again. She's going to cast the Ignite and the Feral Lightning for 5 damage and kill the God Feeders. This also grants a single charge to Lash. She's then going to prep Amplify Vision, Feral Lightning, and she has 5 power. Oh no, 6 power. I'll buy an Amplify Vision from the Devour and gain a charge. Oh, and also lets me, reveal 2. Cancel. I will not discard either of those. Her next turn, Feral Lightning, Ignite, Spark, Emerald Shard, Clouded Sapphire. It is so amazing to use. What did I only used 2. I used 2 Ball Vortexes. And just got rid of 4 crystals. But it makes such a difference in your hands. It really does. Alright, Nemesis is going next. Everything's off the board, luckily. But he's going to draw Cauterizer. Minion, 3 life. When damage is dealt to this minion, reduce that damage to 1. Persistent, any player suffers damage equal to this minion's current life. So it takes 3 different spells to kill that. Not bad. Not the end of the world. And Lash is going to go first. He's going to use Spark to do 1 damage to the Cauterizer. He will then prep Dark Fire. And this is generating worth 4 power. Quartz Shard lets me reveal top card. Okay, so that's worth 5 power. I'm going to buy the Feral Lightning because I don't like having just 1 card left in a spot like that. Give him a little bit more damage output. But I'm pretty much done buying spells at this point. Pretty much done buying anything. It's just all my power should be generating special abilities at this point. I probably should have done that a couple turns ago. But whatever. Alright, Amplify Vision, 2 Dark Fires, 2 Sparks. So that's interesting because I only have 2 open spots. Yeah. Yeah. Is what it is. All right. Kadir goes next. Yeah. All right. She's going to use Amplify Vision. She's going to focus her 3rd breach. And Feral Lightning. They both do 1 damage to the Cauterizer. But at least gets them off the board. And then she's going to prep Feral Lightning, Ignite, and Spark. And she can generate 4 power or 3 in a life. I don't want to use her ability right now. So I'll actually buy a Focusing Orb so that I can heal Greyfold. This also grants Lash a charge. And our next turn is going to have 2 Sifter's Pearl, Crystal, 2 Sparks. Nemesis goes next. Board is clear. Gather Darkness. This is a tier 3, so we are now in tier 3. Any player places their discard pile on top of their deck, shuffles it, and then destroys the top 4 cards of their deck, then unleash twice. I'm going to do Lashes. Since she used the Bottle Vortex to get rid of 4 of her starter cards. He has not. So I think I have better odds of pulling starter cards. I do have better odds, I think. Crystal, Spark, Crystal, Crystal. Awesome. So that actually helps me. That's tremendous. And then unleashes twice. All right. So we're going to have him eat 3 diamond clusters and then 3 focusing orbs. So you see how this leaves only 1 focusing orb here? These are still, now if he eats diamond cluster, he'll take Gravehold will take 2 damage. If I let him eat the focusing orb, he'll take 4. So I actually want to buy that up if possible. So powerful card, but I survived it. It actually benefited me. Didn't really do anything bad. All right, Lash. First, I'm going to cast Dark Fire, and I'm going to discard 2 sparks. That does 6 damage, bringing the Prince of Gluttony to 27. So I'm within striking distance now. I'm going to prep a Dark Fire and an Amplify Vision. The other Dark Fire, I'm not able to do anything with it right now, so I only get to draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which will be Feral Lightning, Crystal, Sifter's Pearl, and Quartz Shard. But not bad. Yeah, I'd say 80% chance to win this. Now, tier 3 card. Could do 13 damage to Gravehold? Yeah, sure. That's a lot, but you know, if I get unlucky with the combination, that's you know, and I get 2 Nemesis activations in a row, absolutely, it's definitely still lose. You can lose on any round once you're in tier 3. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, I got 6 life, 5 life, 13, which is almost half. I can definitely still lose, but I like my chances. All right, Kadir's going to go first. That's great. We're going to use Ignite for 2 damage, Spark for 1, and Feral Lightning for 3, so it's a total of 6 damage. And Lash gains a charge. And that brings Prince of Gluttony down to 21. I'm going to prep 2 sparks. And then I have 5 power. But I will use the first 2 power to generate a charge. I will then activate her special ability, Otherworldly Gate. That player may return up to 3 spells in their discard pile to their hand, and then may prep 2 spells to each of their open breaches this turn. And I'm going to take a Feral Lightning. I'm going to take 2 Feral Lightnings. And an Ignite. That uses up all 5 charges. And then I'm also buying another charge because I had 5 total power. So I will prep 2 Feral Lightnings and the Ignite. Very powerful ability. And her next turn, she gets an Ignite, Feral Lightning, 2 Citrus Pearl, and a Crystal. And Lash is going next. So first he's going to use Amplify Vision. That's going to do 2 damage and open his 3rd breach. So that's bringing Prince of Gluttony down to 19. I will then cast Dark Fire. And I will get rid of Sifter's Pearl and my Crystal to do 6 damage, bringing Prince of Gluttony down to 13. I'll prep Feral Lightning and Dark Fire, and I'll use my Quartz Shard, which reveals the top card. Gives me 2 power, which I'll use for a charge. So see how powerful these hands are getting? I mean, right here I have 1, 2, 4, 10 damage lined up. And Prince of Gluttony only has 13 life and no minions. So if they both act, if I get and then this is worth 9. So 9 damage from Lash, 10 damage from Kadir on their next turn. So depends how those activations set up. If I get 2 Nemesis in a row, I could lose, but as long as, so that's 50-50 just on the odds right there. But if I get each of them again, then I win. And we're going to start with Lash. So he's going to use Feral Lightning for 3 damage. And Dark Fire, discarding 2 crystal. No, discarding 2 sparks. That does 9 damage. Bringing Nemesis down to 4 life. He's going to prep a Dark Fire. He's going to use 2 crystals to buy a charge and then activate his special ability. Quicken Thought. Shuffle any player's turn order card back into the deck. That player suffers 1 damage. So he's going to take his card, put it on top, give him a nice little shuffle. So yeah, looks like I won this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in his next hand, Dark Fire, Amplify Vision, Citrus Pearl, Crystal, and a Quartz Shard. Boom! Kadir. She's going to cast both Feral Lightnings, Ignite, and 2 Sparks, dealing a total of 2, 4, 7, 10 damage, destroying the Prince of Gluttony. Defeated! Yay! So it only took me 3 tries. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot more fun than the last game. Keys to success, definitely grabbing those Dark Fires early, letting Lash keep all of his starter cards and just discarding them with Dark Fire. Gave me a very cheap way to generate a lot of damage early. And really only he could do that because his starter card allows him a 66% chance to generate 2 power from that gem. So I was able to, get 3 crystals and his starter card, the Quartz Shard, and get 5 power and just buy 2 of them pretty early. I was able to do that twice. Buy 2 of those early, which is great. And then with Kadir, I got the 2 Bottle of Vortexes, which allowed me to destroy some of her starter cards and just kind of keep it going. Opening breaches wasn't really a big deal. I basically just had 2 open breaches for each character the whole game. Even though I got the Amplify Visions and the Focusing Orbs, I didn't really use them. The extra charges helped from the Clouded Sapphire and the Ignites. Those were nice. And I mostly used the Sifter's Pearls for economy generation. I never got to use the Diamond's ability. I never got 2 in the same hand at once, and I only bought 1 Clouded Sapphire the whole game. But I definitely was generating a good amount of power and a lot of spells. I also think I got really lucky with just how the Nemesis pile ended up being shuffled with the turn order deck, the way that played out. I got a lot of kind of weaker minions that I was able to take care of right away. I had enough firepower for it, thankfully. But I never felt like the Nemesis had really good turns where he just got off a really good combo on me. I don't think that ever... There was 1 mid-level combo about 3/4 of the way through the game, but that was really it. I was able to really handle everything he threw at me. Yeah, good game, lots of fun. These 2 are a good combination. He gives you an extra turn. She gives you effectively an extra turn spells, 3 extra spell attacks. So they both really help in kind of that countdown economy. And then her ability allows her to generate hit points, which negates the cost of his special ability. So yeah, Lash and Kadir, definitely recommend playing those 2 together. I like all of these cards. Dark Fire with Lash works really well. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Bottle Vortex, for example, that I used with Kadir, has a picture of Kadir on it. I don't know if you can see that. So it's almost like a recommended style for her. I don't think Lash is on the Darkfire card. I don't know who that is in the Darkfire card. Some dude with an eye patch? I don't know who that is. But, yeah. Really good. Really good. Hope you guys had fun. Hope you enjoyed yourselves and you learned something. And let me know in the comments if you prefer this style where you can see me. You can see me talking and kind of seeing over the board. It's more fun for me. I'll say that. Or if you preferred it the other way where the camera was facing down and you could actually see the cards and read the cards, maybe. It depends if you're watching on a phone or on a TV, I guess, while I'm playing. Either way, I'm open to both options, but definitely wanted to give this a try. This felt a little bit more comfortable for me. So unless I hear from you guys, I'll probably continue this direction because I want to get my face on the channel more anyway. All right. Well, thank you so much, and God bless.